Hi, I'm Aaron Garza, and you're listening to Built, a podcast about building your body, your business, and your life. If you're interested in improving your body, your business or career, and your life, then this is the place to be. I've spent the last 20 years improving physiques, building businesses, and figuring out how to get results fast, no matter where you currently are. Join me and let me give you specific tools you can use right now, today. The bottom line is change starts now, right now, in any area of your life. And it starts with your decision to make it happen. Welcome to Built. The Built podcast is brought to you by Pureline Nutrition. Visit us online at thepureline.com for nutritional supplementation that I personally designed to help you maximize performance. Hey guys, welcome to Built. This is our inaugural podcast. I'm super excited to be with you, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you're in any way trying to improve your body, your life, your business, your career, any area like that, I think this podcast will help you. I think some of the podcasts that we're going to have over the next year are going to help you. And, basically what I've done is I've put down in my head things that I really believe can help you achieve your results, achieve your goals, help you do what it is you're trying to do faster, more efficiently, and more effectively. I've done a lot of things in my life. Over the last 20 years, I've been involved in competitive bodybuilding at the top levels. I've been involved in coaching physique athletes, helping them win major shows. I've been involved in creating multiple businesses, a couple of which right now are in the seven figures. Just a lot of different things that I've learned from, not necessarily about the successes, but about the failures and figuring out exactly what to do to turn those failures into successes. And this is my platform to help share those things with you and teach you some things that may be beneficial for you and that will help you accelerate through your goals and get to where you want to go fast. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, or maybe even 50, if you're an advanced person or if you're just a beginner, I'm sure you'll walk away from each of these podcasts with a little nugget of gold that you can use in your life to help you get to where you want to go much faster. So let me start this one out by saying this is going to be a really important episode because we're going to talk about three very strategic tools that I've used over the last 20 years to help me get where I am in my life today, and that I know if you use right now will help you get where you want to go. So let's set the stage for this. First of all, let's say this is Sunday night, okay? And you're mentally preparing yourself for the week ahead. And what most of us do is we start setting our goals. We're taking notes of things we have to do. We start making a little list in our mind while we're laying on the couch, sitting there, and we say, hey, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to start my diet so I can get that 2 or 3 extra pounds off that I put on over vacation, or I'm going to get on track with my workouts this week for sure. I'm not going to miss a workout. This is the week that I'm going to do 100%. Or you know what? I'm going to get up early and I'm going to do my cardio and I'm going to get organized. I'm going to write down my list of things to do for the day. Or you know what? This week I'm going to take Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and I'm going to work on that little side business that I've been thinking about. Or maybe even, you sit back and you say, you know what, I need to go ahead and take a couple hours out tonight and prep my meals, get my chicken ready, get my turkey, my lean meats, my rice, my fresh vegetables, all that stuff going. So all of us on Sunday night are kind of making that little mental to-do list. Do any of these sound familiar? Why is it that we wait till Sunday night? Where's that sense of urgency coming from that we have to get organized on Sunday night, that we've been putting it off? Well, you see, I believe it's because Sunday is the last day of the week. And we've got a small but lingering sense of guilt there nibbling at us because we said we were going to do the same exact thing the week before, but again, we just never got to it. And of course, none of us like to admit that we failed. It's much easier to mentally note the things that we did accomplish and the reason we weren't able to get to the rest of the stuff. So what do? We store those things that need to be taken care of on a mental to-do list, and then we kick them to the following Monday. And the problem with this is that next Monday turns into the following, and then that Monday turns into the Monday after that. And those goals, those dreams we had for our body, our business, our future, they just get pushed further away from reality. And unfortunately, a lot of us live our lives this way, perhaps even you. And unless you take massive and structured action to work on these areas, then you're never going to improve your body, whether that's dropping fat or building muscle, improving your finances or working on your business, or even working on moving up in your chosen career path. You'll never do what it really takes to make your dreams a reality. So the question is, what do we do? How do we do it? And exactly what actions do we take to ensure that we're moving forward and creating a better body, a better business or career, a better marriage, whatever it may be that you're truly, deeply hungry for, even though you may not even realize it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you 3 tools that I have found to be extremely crucial in helping me do some of those exact things. I'm at 44 years old. I've got a body that I'm pretty proud of. They've helped me build actually 2 businesses. Pure Line Nutrition, which is a growing business. We distribute supplements. We have retail stores, e-commerce sites. We internationally distribute our supplements all over the world. We also have a protein cookie company. My wife and I have a manufacturing facility where we manufacture protein cookies, not only for ourselves, but for other people. And we sell into hundreds of stores throughout the world. So, there's a couple of things that I've done in my life that have helped me really excel in some of those businesses, and of course in my physique and helping others in their physique. And that's what I'm going to give to you right now. These tools are extremely powerful. They will help you. So I want you to kick back. I want you to listen. I want you to take notes. And most of all, I want you to figure out how you're going to put these tools into action in your daily life, okay? But before I give them to you, I want to start with a little story, kind of a little analogy that's going to give you a little bit of context about the reality of setting goals and the reality of getting where you want to be in your life. So a few weeks back, I was in Miami and I was flying Delta Airlines. And, I was in the airport, and I've always been fascinated by airports. In fact, I could sit in an airport all day long. I think my wife kind of freaks out because I actually like sitting there and just watching people get on the planes, get off the planes. And I really like to analyze people. That's my analytical brain. I like to figure out, where are these people going? Where have they been? What locations are they coming from? Are they on vacation? Are they on work? What do they do? What's their occupation? Are they a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman? Are they working on a big case? Is this lady going to see her family? My imagination goes to work, right? And I'm sure yours does too. If it doesn't, then okay, then I'm really weird. But I'm pretty sure that most of you guys, when you're in an airport, kind of think the same things. Several years back, I was on a chartered plane and I had the opportunity to fly next to a pilot the whole time, and I'm looking out the cockpit, and I'm checking out the view and looking at the clouds. And I remember just watching him as he's putting in coordinates on the control panel, and doing all these things simultaneously to get us to where we want to go. And I'm just amazed, although it's super difficult and complicated, in my opinion, to him, it just does it with grace and ease. It's just effortless. And, when I was there, and I started thinking about, the airport, the airplane, the captain, and I asked myself, why is it do I like airplanes and airports and all these things so much? What's the reason? And then I started to really get down to it. And I think the reason is because planes, airports, the system, they operate much like people really should. At any given point, a plane has a direction. It's either in the air flying to a destination or it's on the ground waiting to fly to another one. At any given point, you can ask the pilot, hey, where are we going? And he can tell you instantly in one sentence, we're going here. How many people do you know that can do that? How many people in your life can you ask right now, where are you going? And get a single definitive answer. You see, we live in a society of distraction. I mean, there's social media platforms, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I can't even keep up. We've got multiple options, avenues, coaches, people, in every different direction. People are offering us advice and telling us to go this way and that way and this way and that way. And a lot of times we just say, okay, yeah, let's go that way. The problem with this is that we never focus our efforts on one single clear path. Instead, we change paths weekly. Does that make sense? We change diets every week. We change the people we follow every week. We decide we're going to be, our career is going to be this one week, and next week we're going to do that. When we're going to open a business. I mean, daily, we're not making progress. I mean, can you imagine if the captain of the plane changed directions every 20 minutes? What would happen? The plane would never get anywhere. Eventually, it would run out of gas, and probably it would go down. The pilots, the airlines, they all realize that they have to get to a single destination before they can pick up and move on to the next. Slowly, that plane starts to reach every destination mapped out one by one. Now, on the other hand, if the plane was grounded, the pilot never got in, started the engines, and punched in the coordinates, it would never go anywhere. The plane, and especially the pilot, they need to have a place to go. You're no different. You've got to have a place to go, or you stay in park, you go nowhere. Worse yet, you go in circles, never truly reaching your goals and ultimately your potential. So this leads me into one of the first of the three powerful tools that I really want to define for you that will help you reach your goals. And I guarantee you, if you use them and you apply them and you take action, you will see a change instantly within the next week. So let's kind of start with this. What's the foundation that makes everything work in life? Whether it's your business, whether it's your family life, whether it's changing your body, your career, etc. What is the foundation? And that's what we're going to start with. The foundation to me is having a crystal clear vision and having clarity of path. You have to know exactly where you're going, exactly where that plane is going to land. You have to know beforehand. And a lot of people don't. In fact, I've got a buddy who tells me, people will plan 3, 4, 5, even 6 months in advance for a wedding. Yet they won't take a single hour or 2 hours out of their day to plan their life. Isn't that profound? I mean, really, isn't it profound? Think about that. You're talking about your life versus a wedding, an event that's going to end after 3, 4, or 5 months. And most people don't plan. So that's the number one thing, creating a vision, having clarity of path. You've got to know where you're going. What are you trying to do? So I want you to get a piece of paper out right now, wherever you are, and get a pen, and I want you to write this down. I want you to be crystal clear and write down exactly where it is you want to go, whether it's your body, whether you're trying to change and lose weight, or whether it's put on muscle, or whether it's improving your business. I want you to write down, in the next 6 months, this is where I want to go. I want to lose X amount of weight. And I want you to be definitive. I want you to be clear. It's not enough just to say, hey, you know what? I want to lose 20 pounds. Or, you know what? I want to fit in a size 3 or size 2 dress and, I want to look good. No, you've got to be clear. For example, I want to lose 3 pounds of fat per week. That's a pretty reasonable goal for exactly 10 weeks. That's 30 pounds of fat in 2.5 months. Do you realize how different you would look if you did that? Do you realize how many people wouldn't recognize you when you're walking down the street and when they see you at a reunion or they see you walk into a restaurant? That's 10 weeks. That's not a long time. Another example, I want to put on 20 pounds of muscle, or let's say 4 pounds of muscle per month. No problem. Write it down. That's 5 months of work for a 20-pound gain. Again, completely different. You'd look absolutely completely different. What if I said I want to add $100 to my income every week for the next year? That's $400 a month. That's $4,000 a year, $4,800 a year. That's a pretty significant amount of money for a lot of people. I mean, just think about what it is you want to do and be clear, be crystal clear about the path, and make sure that you put it on paper. You see, something happens when you write your goals on paper. They become real. They can become tangible. You start subconsciously committing to it. I can't tell you how many times, I've written stuff down and then forgot about it. And maybe a year, 2, 3 years later even, found a journal sitting around that I'm looking through and I'm saying, holy shit, all this stuff just happened. I did this, I did that, I did that. It's just unmistakably really crazy how it works, but it does. So be crystal clear, have clarity of path. Make sure you know exactly where you're going. Write down the roadmap to get there. And something that I've really found helps with this, and that I truly, truly advise you to do or take into consideration, is find someone or something that tells you exactly how to get where you want to go, because they've either done it themselves or they've helped other people do it as well. Some people call these coaches, mentors. I know I've had several mentors in my life who unknowingly have actually helped me in my business, in my career path, in my relationship. They can come from all different areas, whether, a spiritual mentor, a good close friend who's older than you, who's gone through the business ropes, who's an entrepreneur and doing what he wanted to do and is successful at it, or, maybe a person who has an extreme amount of success helping people with their diets and nutrition and losing weight. These are very important people to have in your life. I want you to think about that plane for a second. Think about how many people are involved in getting it where it needs to be. You got a captain, a co-captain, then in the little cockpit there, you've got an engineer, then you got some ground crews, a control tower, safety inspectors, the fuel team. I mean, there's probably a list of 40 different other categories that I'm not even considering, because there's multiple people involved in ensuring that that plane gets to its destination in the fastest and safest way possible. You see, we're no different. There's a team out there that can be involved in helping you get where you need to go, and you've just got to open up your boundaries a little bit, get out of your comfort zone, and allow that team to come in and help you. You've got to find what I would consider a dream team, the best of the best. And you know what? You've got to have, if it's if you want to look a certain way, you may need a nutritionist, you may need a supplement specialist, a personal trainer, a group fitness instructor, your physician, a chiropractor. I mean, the list goes on. But you see, clarity of path, knowing where you're going, it's not just about the path, but it's also about finding the keys on the way to that path and identifying them that are going to help you get where you want to go. You have to search out and find the people who are going to take you from point A to point B in the fastest and most efficient way possible. And you know what? Make sure that whoever you get, your mentor, your team, your coach, that they know what they're doing. I mean, are they helping you change your body? If so, how many people have they worked with? Heck, dude, what do they look like? Do they follow their own advice? Are they the doctor that's, 150 pounds overweight telling you to, you know what, you need to get your blood pressure down. I recommend you eat clean and get on a diet. I mean, it just doesn't work, I want to see living proof. I want to see results. I want to know that this person has achieved and accomplished what I'm trying to accomplish myself personally with other people or in their business or in their lives, etc. So make sure that they know what they're doing. Find your dream team. And the other thing that's important, make sure you put a little bit of skin into the game. A lot of times, if you find a coach or you find somebody out there who's willing to help you and they say, oh yeah, you know what, I'll help you. And I'm absolutely responsible or guilty of this because I help a lot of people out. And, sometimes I don't charge. And a lot of times when I do that, whether it's a close friend or somebody that I really know well, what ends up happening is that person may not take it seriously because they don't have skin in the game. You've got to pay. You've got to be willing to pay people to help you. And in the end, it's going to actually save you time, money, energy, and frustration because you're going to have a clear-cut path to get the result you want to get or reach the destination you're trying to reach. So make sure and find that person. Don't reinvent the wheel. Find clarity of path. Find the dream team to help you get there. Don't be afraid to ask people to help you. Remember, the pilot in the plane isn't alone. He's got a team of people helping him get where that plane needs to go. Number 2, I don't want you to create limitations and put labels on yourself. This is extremely, extremely important. What do I mean by creating limitations? Simple. Don't accept a substandard level of success in anything. You have to be willing to break out of what you think is possible for yourself. Let me give you an example. Several years back, I was on a helicopter flying over the island of Maui in Hawaii. And I'm looking at this beautiful, pristine, gorgeous countryside. I mean, beautiful, lush green forests, waterfalls falling, just down the sides of the mountains, just absolutely beautiful. And, we come across a piece of land, whether it's, hundreds of acres. And the pilot says, you see that piece of land right there? And you see that, mansion out there? Oh, the lady who owns that, she actually had her horses FedExed in from the United States, from the mainland. They FedExed them into the land. And I'm sitting there thinking, holy cow. He looks at me, can you imagine how much that cost? Well, let me tell you a little bit about that lady, as I later found out. That lady was raped when she was 9 years old. At the age of 14, she had her first infant child, which later died. She had an extremely hard upbringing, moving around from home to home, but somehow found a way to get to college, graduate from college, and then get into her career, which was broadcasting, and then was told by every broadcaster out there that she was just not the right type of person, that she just didn't have it, that she just didn't have the ability to do what it is that was necessary at the time to be on national TV. Yet later, this same lady became one of the biggest network celebrities and people of influence in our entire country. Y'all know who it was? You know who it was that bought those horses and brought them via FedEx to Maui? Oprah Winfrey. How's that? Another one. Let me give you another one for no self-imposed limitations and labels. Let's talk about a guy who was drafted 199 in the NFL draft, okay? Now let me give you a little context there. 250 people go into the draft. It happens every year. And usually your top 10, top 20, these are the guys that are your awesome Heisman Trophy winners, excelling, doing the best they've ever, these are the stars. These are the guys that every team wants. 199, that's just kind of, you're a little bit out of the picture there. You're just kind of a leftover. If anything, you're going to fill the bench. Maybe if our starter gets hurt, you can fill that in. So this guy's picked 199th in the NFL draft, later goes on to training camp with the team that picked him, sees the owner and tells the owner at that camp, I'm the best decision that this team has ever made. A year later, the starting quarterback for the team he's with gets injured. He goes in to replace him and leads that team to a championship many years, multiple times after that. Who's that? Tom Brady. Again, limitations, self-imposed limitations. Don't put labels on yourself. What's possible for you is possible because you believe it's possible. A lot of people, they'll say, oh, I want to look good. I want to get lean. I want to have, good arms. I want to have, a sexy body, blah, blah, blah. But then come limitations. But you know what? I'm cool with just having a smaller stomach. Or I'd be okay if I just looked like her before picture. Or maybe I'm too old to look like that. My body's not going to look like that. It's not going to respond. Or I don't want to be that big. Honestly, you probably won't. But to be honestly, the labels, they're just labels you're giving to yourself. These are your self-imposed limitations at work. Imagine that captain if he had said, hey, you know what? I don't know if that plane's going to fly that far. It's a few years old. Or there's a 20% chance of rain. We better ground all the planes today. Yeah, I get that it's not exactly the same thing, but you get the picture, right? Limitations are what we choose to give ourselves so that we don't risk failure. Deep inside, we don't want to fail. We want to succeed, and the easiest way to do that is to lower our risk. So instead of trying to climb over a big wall, it's much easier to find the shorter wall that we can just kind of skim over. The problem is the lower the risk, the lower reward. We have to be able to risk big if we want big results. And what's the worst that can happen? We set our goals too high. We don't reach that goal, but we reach a lot further than if we had set a smaller goal. We expanded our potential possibility. So, let me give you another example, a personal one for me. Many years in my life when I was younger, I was into the sport of bodybuilding. And, I always set the goal, man, I just want to be on the national stage. I just want to be on the national stage, And that was really all I really craved to have. I just wanted to be on the Mr. USA stage. I wanted to look good. I wanted to be up there. Granted, there's still many levels further that you can go. You go in the professional levels and the professional competitions and things like that. But my goal was always just to be on stage at the national level. One day, when I got on stage and was top 2 in the country at the national level, I was kind of like, I'm good. This is what I want to achieve. I achieved it. I think I want to look at something else now. So maybe it wasn't the worst thing, but still I imposed that limitation on myself. It was something that I said, you know what? This is where I'm good. This is where I'm happy. If you don't want to have limitations, don't set them. Set them high. Set the bar high. Go higher. You can always do that. You see, this becomes a psychological issue, not a physiological issue. It's all about the psychology. You see, the truth is nobody wants to just be healthy. Nobody wants to be in decent shape or just get by. People have a deep and profound desire, whether they realize it or not, to be their best in all areas, physically, mentally, spiritually. That's what life is about. And when we start to create limitations, we put labels on ourselves and we immediately eliminate our possibility of greatness. if you find yourself doing this already in your journey, I don't know if it's in fitness or it's in your life or with your relationships, then you got to recognize it right now and recognize that you can change it right now. You can stop being your label or your limitation, and you can start being your possibility. You just have to make that choice. Nobody else is going to do it for you, not me, not your wife, not your best friend. In fact, a lot of times those people are going to say, hey, you know what? I love you the way you are. You're perfectly fine the way you are. You don't need to do anything else. Stay where you're at. And that's not because they have ill will towards you or they don't want to see you succeed, but because they just don't want to see you suffer. They don't want to see you go through some of the things it may take to get to where you want to be. So don't worry about that. You set your standards, you set your goal, you have clarity of path, clarity of vision, figure out what your self-imposed limitations are and take those out, okay? So number 3 in this set of 3 principles that I truly believe will change your life is you've got to work your ass off and execute your plan. You know where you're going, you've got no labels, you've got no limitations, you are the captain of your ship, so what's next? Work your ass off. You know what the funny thing about this is that most people, if you've listened this far and you haven't pressed pause and gone to a new podcast, most of you guys are willing to work because you're listening, you're interested. And I find that most people really are truly willing to work when they know what to do. So let me give you an example here. I had a business when I was younger, a smoothie business, and it would drive me crazy. We were busy, but when we had downtime, I'd see, the young guy, my employee at the register, either reading a book, checking his cell phone. I don't think we had social media at that time, but I'm sure he was texting or doing something like that. And it would just drive me crazy when he wasn't working. And then one day, long after that business had been dissolved, I pulled into a Starbucks and I saw this guy, the same employee that had worked for me at that time that I would get pissed about him not working, busting his ass at Starbucks making cafe mochas and frappuccinos. And it was then that it hit me. This kid was a hard worker. I just didn't give him enough to do. I didn't have a plan to execute when business was slow. It was my fault. You see, most people will work hard when they have a map to follow or a plan to execute. But if there is nothing there, if there's no purpose, no plan, no reason, then they're going to stay stagnant. They're not going to do anything. There's going to be no movement, no energy, no work, period. You see, the same applies to weight loss, building muscle, building a business, anything, any of your goals. You have to have a plan, and you've got to follow that plan relentlessly with discipline and purpose. You have that plan and you've got the right team and the right path, then moving forward is a lot less difficult because you have accountability to your team and you have a structured framework with the end in mind. And in case you haven't figured it out yet, you always start with the end in mind. The end in mind is the key. So when it comes to working your ass off, there's something I want you to also keep in mind, and this is how you may be uniquely motivated. You see, what I found is that I'm a goal person. I set some goals, I have my to-do list, and I'm going to achieve those goals. Number 1, I scratch it off. Number 2, I scratch it off. Number 3, and so forth and so on until I've attained all those goals. It's just the way I operate. It's just the way this airplane works. Now, other airplanes work differently. Other airplanes may need to solve a problem like F-18 or a bomber or something. They go in and destroy a target because there's a problem that needs to be solved. It's the same thing with people. People are either motivated by their goals or they're not. You can give a person a list of goals and it may just sit there if they're not motivated by that particular mechanism. What I found is that some people are more likely to solve problems than they are to obtain goals. So let me give you an example. If you're motivated by goals, then you write down my goal is to lose 25 pounds or, be shredded for my cruise in 4 weeks or get in shape for my 45th birthday. Those are all going to motivate you. You're going to do the things that you need to do to get to where you need to be and achieve those goals. But a lot of people will look at those, like I said, and they'll just sit there. So how do those people get motivated? In fact, I think a large majority of people are motivated this way. They're motivated more by the problem that those goals present. So for example, let me frame that a different way. I have to lose 25 pounds or I risk becoming a diabetic. I have to be in my best shape at 45 years old or my birthday party is off. You see, there's a problem insinuated in that method. And by doing that, you're able to work towards solving that problem. And for some reason, psychologically, a lot of people are more likely to solve the problem than they are just to reach a goal. So figure out a way to frame your motivation as a problem. Like if I don't do this, I won't have that. And you might be able to achieve your goal a lot faster. So think about that. That's just something that I found helps me. And it's a unique way to motivate people or motivate you that I find very effective. But regardless, relentlessly and tirelessly, day after day, you've got to push and push and push. You've got to grind, man. You've got to get up early. You've got to go to bed late. You got to work when no one else is working. Obviously I'm an entrepreneur, and people think that, being an entrepreneur is great. You get to set your own schedule. You get to do this. Yeah, but you know what? You're always on. You're not off. You never turn the off button. You're on vacation, you're on. You're at the airport, you're on. You're with your wife eating dinner, you're on. You're never off. You're always working. And if you want to do something, you want to achieve something, then you need to push day after day after day. And you know what? When you get tired and you can't push any longer, you call that team, that dream team you have, or you call somebody up and you say, man, I'm done, dude. I want to give up. This just sucks. I can't do this anymore. And, I'm not making any money, or, my body's not changing. I look the same. And if that dream team, if that coach or mentor or best friend of yours is worth his salt or her salt, they're going to say, you know what? Good, man. That's great. Get your ass back to work. You're almost there. Bottom line, nobody is successful in anything without putting in hard work, period. You may not see it. You may not see the days and the hours, especially in the world of Instagram and Facebook, where all you see is the success and you don't see the toils and the time and the labor that goes into building a brand, a business, a body, but it's there. They put time in when you aren't looking. Everybody who's hashtag winning on some level is working harder and more intelligently than the guy who starts every Monday without a goal, waking up, deciding, let's see what happens, and they're very responsive to the world around them. So you've got to be willing to work your ass off, solve your problems, or reach your goals. Guys, those are the three things that I found pivotal in helping me and helping a lot of my friends and people around me achieve great results in their life. And I think whether you're trying to build your body, trying to lose weight, build your business, do whatever it is you're trying to do in your life right now, you can take those three things and you can apply them. Clarity of path, clarity of vision, not creating self-imposed limitations or labels, and working your ass off. Those three things are guaranteed to change you. I challenge you in the next 30 days to put those three things to work. Get out a pen, get out a paper, write down exactly where you're going to go, write down how you're going to get there, write down the team that's going to help you get there, and just challenge yourself to bust your ass every day to get where you want to go. And you're going to see a difference in everything that you do. I guarantee it. Guys, I hope this podcast gave you a little bit of insight into how you can do things and effectively change your life a little bit better. We're going to continue building structure through these podcasts. Every podcast, every week, I'm going to try to give you some foundational elements that you can build upon until ultimately we can get to a place where we can start throwing some cool stuff in, like interviews and things. But I think a lot of the foundation is important before we move into that. If you have any questions or you have any comments or you'd like to hear anything on the podcast, you can email me directly at Aaron, Aaron, at PureLineNutrition.com. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you got something out of this. Make sure and check out our podcast on SoundCloud. Like it, send it out to your social media contacts, tell all your friends about it, and check me out on Instagram. You can find me at Pureline Guru, PureLine_Guru on Instagram. Send me a DM if you have any questions. Again, once thank you guys. Good luck. Have a great week. And until next week, stay strong, stay healthy.